Okay, moving on, we're going to work with some more difficult masking. So we're going to work with spiky hair. We need to go into our Chapter 11 book files, and we're going to grab two photos, Bear and Bear Stream. So we're going to choose these two files. I'm going to shift-click to grab them both and click Open. And once they're open, we're going to drag this bear image on top of the bear stream. So the first thing we have to do is unlock this layer so that we can actually move it. And then with our Move tool, we're just going to click and drag this image up to the other tab of the bear stream, bring it back down, and then we're going to hold Shift and let go of our mouse. And that's going to perfectly center that image on the other one. So you can see that I have layer 1 is the bear, and then we have the background. And let's just name layer 1 bear while we're at it. We can then go back to the just bear image and close it. We do not need that. We have the copy in our new document and we're ready to go. All right, let's do a file save as, and we're going to call this Bear Final PSD. Because it's a layered document, the PSD should be the default, and we're ready to go. Bear Final PSD. All right, we're going to make an initial selection of this bear, and we're going to add a layer mask. So using any tool or method that you want, we're going to select the bear on this layer. I'm going to use quick selection and see if I can get a decent starting point here. And the quick selection tool right here. And I'm just going to start driving this around our bear. I'm going to stay on the inside of the bear. I'm not going to go out too far. Okay, so now my selection got to be too big. That's fine. Remember, if you hold the minus sign, you can come back and tweak this a little bit. So notice I have a lot of hair still sticking out here. That's fine. We'll get that in a minute. So I'm going to push that selection back in. Down here by the feet, I need to improve my selection quite a bit. I want to add the foot there. And then I need to subtract these small areas inside of here as well. So work around with a tool of your choice and do the best selection that you can using the quick selection tool. All right, that looks pretty decent to me. And from here, once we have that selection made, we're going to add a layer mask. And that's going to mask out everything else. So you see the black in our masking. And you can see it's not bad. We maybe lost a few details here and there. And we also have a lot of the grass sticking in, which makes it not look super accurate either. And remember, this bear had some really spiky hair showing. So that's what we're going to want to work with now. So we're going to revise this edge by painting in it, or revise this a little bit using our layer mask. So we're going to go in and clean up whatever we still need to. Maybe I need to get rid of some of this grass right here. I'll zoom in a bit and I'll go onto my mask and I'm going to brush. I'm going to switch to the brush, make it a lot smaller. And I'm going to paint with black right in here where I'm seeing too much of the grass showing from behind. I'm going to clean that up. Anywhere that you see that needs cleaning, go ahead with your mask and just do some refining. That actually was a flower, not the face. And then there's some odd spots here, like where the grass was covering up the back of the bear's foot that we'll have to eventually deal with, but not yet. All right, I'm going to clean this up. So go in and kind of clean up your mask a little bit where you see major problems. All right. Pretty good with that one, I think. If you want to turn off your mask temporarily to see if you're missing anything, whoops, you're going to hold Shift and click. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 claws 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm missing a claw, so I need to paint with white. I'm just going to switch my colors here. There's actually another claw here that I need to get back. All right, now I can switch back to black and clean this up a little bit. So it doesn't hurt to turn your mask off every now and again and see what you're supposed to be dealing with by shift clicking on the mask. So you can see over here the green part of the tree was what's covering up the leg. So there's not much we can do about that except for actually clone that in. All right, let's do that quickly. Let's go back to the layer of the bear and maybe use our cloning tool. Make my brush smaller, and I'm going to option click to set up some area to clone. And then I'm going to have to, oh, the problem is we still have a mask here, so we're not seeing what we've done until we fix the mask. All right, let's go back to the mask and take care of that. Maybe we should have done that first. We need to paint with white with our brush where we want to see that. Boy, some days are slower than others. Okay, here we go. I'm going to paint in where we need to see that leg showing up. Okay, now we can go back to the bear, use the clone stamp, Alt or Option click where we want to do some cloning, and cover up all these pieces of grass. And this is a pretty safe thing to do because we're only able to paint where we are within the white part of our mask. So we can't really do too much damage here, which is a nice feature. All right, that's good. Good enough. I'm going to switch back to the layer mask just because that's important. So at this point, we have successfully revised the mask. And we're pretty happy with, there's no more grass on it, and we filled in this back leg, so it's pretty accurate. In the next video, we're going to make a custom brush that looks like a spiky, wet bear hair, and we're going to use it to brush along the edge of our mask, and then we're going to colorize that brown to make it look as if it is the spiky hairs. Rather than going around, I'll turn off the mask one more time. You see all these spiky hairs up here? Switch to a different tool. All of these spiky hairs, masking around them would be a nightmare. So instead of doing that, our mask is right along the edge, and we're going to paint onto our mask with some black spiky pieces, a custom brush, or white actually, and that's going to paint them into our mask, and then we're going to be able to have this similar look to this without actually masking around each separate spike.